all across the board because it's all different. But how come the women have to cover their hair, pretty much like everything else, but the guys?
Okay, so there's actually two things here. So the first is that when it comes to modesty applies to both men and women.
Okay.
So actually, there's like the areas in which like both have to keep covered. So for women, yes, it's their entire bodies. Versus for men, and what most men you will see don't follow this, is that they actually have like their areas between their belly button to their knees. Okay. Right? And so you're supposed to keep those covered, but you'll see a lot of men wearing shorts and things like that. So just because people don't do it doesn't mean there isn't something. And the second thing is God also tells men that you're supposed to dress modestly. So guys who wear tank tops or wear like tight clothing or dress very extravagantly, meaning with like a lot of money and stuff, that's not modest. So Islam tells us not to do those sorts of things, right? Stay away from that. And even men aren't supposed to be wearing gold. Go as far as to say that. So yeah, there are rules, but they're not as enforced because a lot of people don't talk about that for men. It's a lot easier to talk about it in a feminist, postmodern society to focus on the issues of women. And even on top of that, in the Quran, where it tells women to put on the hijab, like cover themselves, do you know what the verse right before it says? Like, what is the first requirement?
No, I don't.
For the men to lower their gaze. So God is telling man first to lower the gaze because God knows that it's us men that are sexual beings, that are driven by our, let's say, desires. And so we're told to first, hey, calm down. And then it tells the women that they should guard themselves. So it's actually a thing for the man to recognize that it's all about modesty from them first, and then for women to wear that because God tells them to do so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That sounds better than what I was thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is what we're here for.
I was like, that's messed up.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I ask you, do you yourself believe in the Creator? Are you someone that grew up with faith? Like, what is it?
I believe in God.
You believe in God?
More spiritual.
Right. You're very spiritual. Okay.
Yeah.
But we can agree that there definitely is a God who created this universe.
Yeah.
Right? Because when we look at it, there has to be something. Somebody came up with like the way that this earth works, the universe works, how everything is curved perfectly in order.
I believe in respect all across the board.
What would you say, bro?
That's how I believe.
That's not what you believe.
I said that's how I believe.
That's how you believe, right?
He presents himself in different figures all across the world.
Even with a different name, it's
Buddha,
all
you got everybody. You got Jesus, God, Buddha, everybody. And it's just how he presents himself.
Well, so there's a difference what we say, right? So we think that there's a differentiation between us as humans, right? Whether it's Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, etc.
Yeah.
That we're the creation versus the creator, right? And there's a relationship in that, but there is a clear distinction, meaning that we say in the Quran, and if we open up to this chapter in the back here, we'll know exactly who the creator is. So cool thing is in chapter 112, we are told who exactly he is. He is Allah, the one, the only God. He does not need anyone, but everyone fully depends upon him. He has no children, nor was he born. There is nothing that can be compared with him. So we're not saying that Muhammad is God, Jesus is God, Buddha is God, right? But what we say is that those people were potentially people who brought the message of God.
Right.
And what did God say? He says, submit your desires and worship me, and don't take any partners with me, and you will achieve peace. And if you actually think about that, that aligns with the way that we work. Right? People who are depressed, people who are angry, you'll see that they're easily, let's say, lost oftentimes in life. Haven't you ever felt like, things are going the wrong way, you feel like you're off the beaten path? Mm-hmm. So the question is, if you feel like you're off the beaten path, what is the right path? Prayer. That's it. And that's what we say, right? So in Islam, we say that the right path is the one of having that relationship directly with the Creator, no one else, and being able to follow that which He has revealed to us, and that comes in the form of the Quran. Have you ever read the Quran before?
No.
Well, this is a gift.
My religion.
It's a gift for
disrespectful.
No, there's nothing wrong. This is a gift for me too. There's nothing wrong with learning, right? Even yourself, you might be someone that's like very curious. In Islam, actually, knowledge and asking questions of those people who have that knowledge is the foundation of the faith. Right? The very first verse of the Quran was Iqra, which means to read or to decree. So for you as a human being, we all have brains, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if we weren't creatures of rational like descent, God wouldn't have given us a brain. Meaning He would have made us just like animals, where if you know a deer, it gets hit by a car if it runs across the street, the very next week it'll probably do the same thing again, right? Whereas if you touch a hot pan, Are you going to touch that hot pan again?
No.
Nah, you're going to learn, right? Because we're rational beings. So Islam fully gives into that. It actually says that knowledge is a responsibility upon all human beings, and it is a sign of the righteously guided. So we don't believe in blind faith. We believe that you have to come to know the truth. And then once you know it, it's your responsibility to submit yourself to it. You feel me? Right? Let me ask you this. You believe that there's a creator. Do you believe that creator would have sent down prophets?
Yeah.
Right? People like Abraham, people like Moses, people like Jesus. Do you believe that those people would have been prophets of God?
Yeah.
What was it that those prophets preached?
His message.
He said, just worship God, right? He said that don't take partners with us, don't do wrong, make sure you love your friends, your neighbors, your family, do right by them, help each other out. That is the human code that was sent down by all the prophets, worshiping God and doing right. Now the question I have for you is, do you know what the Prophet Muhammad's message was?
I forgot. Catholic school was a long time ago.
So Prophet Muhammad, actually, the difference between Christians and Muslims is that we as Muslims, don't believe that Jesus is God. We believe that he is only a messenger of God, a prophet, and that he is the Messiah. But we do not believe that he is God or the direct, literal Son of God. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. To me, it do.
Right? Because like if God has a kid, then the question I have is that why does he need to kill that innocent child for everyone else to be forgiven? Why does someone innocent need to die for you and I's mistakes? If God is all-powerful and can do anything, shouldn't he just be able to forgive us if we seek his repentance? Why does someone need to die for us all to be forgiven? So in Islam, what we say is you turn to God and God alone. Meaning, what's your name, by the way?
Felicia.
Felicia and? Dan? Dev. All right, so Felicia and Dev. Felicia can't go and say, oh, Dev was the one who told me to go do this, God, that's why I did it. So hold him accountable. No, God is going to say, wait, he and you are individual people and you have your own life experiences and you got your own brain, so you should be held accountable for that. So we as Muslims focus on that piece, is that you are accountable for yourself. Now you can have your homies come and help you out because we believe in the brotherhood and the sisterhood. That's the ummah, right? That's your nation. And we're supposed to support one another, but that doesn't take away from your self-responsibility. So going back to now, you believe that God would send down prophets. The Prophet Muhammad, what was his message? Do you want to take a guess? What do you think his message was? What do you think Prophet Muhammad's message would have been?
Same thing. Peace.
There you go. Worshiping one God, and through that achieving peace and establishing your relationships with your Muslim community, right? Becoming Muslim, supporting one another, doing good. That is what the Prophet Muhammad preached. Now, what the Quran says is that it did not come to, let's say anything different than what was revealed before. In fact, it came to confirm that which was revealed before and serve as a criteria over it. Meaning that, you know, like the Bible, for example. Did you grow up Christian, if you don't mind me asking?
My parents kind of let us do our own thing.
Okay. So in the Bible, for example, what you'll notice is that a lot of different sort of sects exist in Christianity. Someone believes that Jesus is God. Another one believes that Jesus was just the Son of God. Another one believes that Jesus is a deity but not God, right? So like a whole bunch of different interpretations. And the Bible itself, what's the earliest Bible that we have?
The Old Testament.
The Old Testament is part of the Bible, right? But the actual book, do you know when the earliest Bible is from? From the 4th century. So the earliest Bible we have is from 400 years after Christ passed away. So the question I have for people all the time is, what happened those 400 years? How could that message of God have changed? Is it the message of God now, or is it a message of man? And if so, who wrote it?
Exactly.
Right? The difference with us and the Quran and the Bible is that the Quran is preserved, letter by letter, word by word. Homie over here, he's memorized the entire Quran by heart. So if I was to mess up and I start reciting the Quran right now, he would be able to correct me. So that's how the Quran's preserved, one, verbally. Second, you can actually go and look this up. There's something called the Birmingham Quran. Of all places in the United Kingdom, there's a Quran that is carbon dated to the time of the Prophet Muhammad. So not 400 years to the time that he lived. So the Quran was written down by certain people and that's how it was preserved. It was written down and was preserved through that, memorized, etc., passed down to family to family. So that's why over 1 out of every 10 Muslims memorize the entire Quran. So if I tell you there's 2 billion people that are Muslim, that means there's over 200 million people that have memorized the entire book. You feel me?
Yeah.
So the Prophet Muhammad came with this message about, worshiping that one God, things like this. He not only talked about those things, but the Quran talks about scientific miracles. Does the Earth have its own orbit? Does the Earth travel on a specific path around the universe? Does the sun travel on a specific path around the universe? The moon as well? The Quran talks about that 1400 years ago, and that's something science just discovered within the past 100 years. The Quran says that iron comes from outer space. Science just discovered that 70 years ago. The stages of pregnancy. So you'll see that the Quran, how could it have known these things that we're just discovering today? Either one, it was lucky, or two, it came from a divine individual, or it's from a divine being. And so that's why we say it comes from God. Because if it wasn't, then it would have just been luck. And if you're lucky, you gotta mess up. But that word, I argue, has no mistakes in it. And if you can find a mistake, come and present it to me. Feel me?
Can I have one of these?
Take everything. All of it. Here, and this was actually in regards to what you were asking
Yeah, I
about.
was looking at this.
Yeah, take that one.
And this one.
Yo, can I interest you in anything, bro? Take whatever you want, man.
together.
Oh, okay. Here, take this one.
Hopefully not in scent.
What's the difference in this one?
That's Spanish. ¿Te puede hablar en español o no? No? No?
Thank you guys
Of
so
course.
much. And I really appreciate
Of
that.
course, that's a gift for you.
Wash my hands before I read through it.